wünsche ich einen wunderschönen Stream. Und wir sehen mal, wie dieses Spiel hier bei frei. Die liebe Geschichte ohne Hektik, Mechanik und Tausend.
Are you saying that advance have cured death?
We're still vassals, slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Nutze die Uhr, um deine Pausen perfekt zu timen. Sehr auf jeden Fall schon mal eine Marionette. Sieht eindeutig nach Stasi aus. Eindeutig. Stasi, Stasi, Stasi. Tag 1. Die Wahl.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. All right, mate. Dave here. Listen, now, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so, you're going to have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry. It's not hard, and I'm going to stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the four small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again. You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain... Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk. You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any three and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again. Right, the tapes are loaded and we're all ready for when we get to the first ad break. That's great. Any second now, you should be getting a signal through from the studio. Stay on your toes, mate. It's election night, so all eyes are on
Gott,
this
labert
room.
der
We
viel.
do not want to get
Kann aber
fired.
morgen.
When you get the signal, select screen 1 with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know, seafood makes me go out in pustules.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist, going 5, 4.
It's time to join Jeremy Donaldson.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay, we're all good. Next is going to be the throw to the news titles on screen 2. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market.
Geil.
Top
Ah,
Jack.
Stasi-Simulator. Ich habe noch 2 Minuten Zeit.
Celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year.
Auxiliary Display
And
Port, out
a
of
spoonful
order.
of
Call
sugar.
break for
Megan
maintenance.
will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch.
Alex,
about
was hast du
his
getan?
movie,
Warum
The
ist der
Relegated.
Maintenance?
And, of
Warum
course,
braucht mein
we'll be
DisplayPort
going live
Maintenance?
to Advanced Headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic
Right, button 2 in 3, 2,
national
1.
news.
Lovely, mate. Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes.
Ah, okay. Gartenschlauch. Verständlich.
Here it comes. Switch to screen 1. Now, lovely, mate.
But first, the votes are in, and it's a decisive win for Advance. The
Hast alles
landslide
kaputt
victory,
gemacht.
with an astonishing 81% of the popular vote, is the biggest election win in
Ich finde
living
diese
memory.
Nachrichten-Intro außerdem fancy.
Advance appealed to voters up and down the country with their bold promises of permanent change. But critics have accused him of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly. However, former Home Secretary
Right, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
Das Game ist lauter als ich. Okay, mach ich gleich.
And 3, 2, 1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody. Jeremy, I need you to fill after the ads.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
So, besser. So.
Personally, I wouldn't try to confuse it with any big words.
That's the same policy we use with you.
I thought that was our little secret.
That's all right. He doesn't remember anything I tell him.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship.
Love you too.
Yeah.
Wicked. We've
Gut.
made it to the first ad.
Sollte jetzt besser sein, aber.
But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long, 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience will see
Moin,
you doing the
super.
talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected.
Guti, viel Spaß.
No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first,
Get ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to
go to Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his
joined
name.
today by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear, I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch
the...
to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's
Still
talking.
your latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the wrap,
Oh Gott, das ist anstrengend.
Peter Jensen, the
Give
director,
us a look at Megan's reaction. Lovely. Now back to Thunder Twat.
I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Oh Mann.
Challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my
Get back to who's talking.
starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in...
Rockman.
You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love,
Been
of
on that
course,
shot a bit long.
for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to
Remember the 10-second
not
rule.
in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards...
Gott, ist das konzentriert. Ich muss mich ja konzentrieren dabei, das ist schlimm.
That is a beautiful question. and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire. I do it for the little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I
What did he positive?
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Oh Gott, jetzt muss ich auch noch zensieren.
Next week,
Right, they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'd just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
Cool, looks like Blunderclatch is really losing it in the studio.
Der Rest ist aus. Ich habe da einen großen Zensierbutton.
Go to the Russia's room together once the broadcast's over.
I don't understand it.
Ich glaube, das brauche ich niemand. Das macht er auch so schon. Diese Reaktion ist aus dem super.
I don't know that.
Oh, Knutschszenen.
That's Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan. I did it for you, baby. All for you.
Okay, kein Signal mehr. Okay, gut.
I'm gonna change the world, you remember? Won't I listen to you?
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me, but I didn't listen.
Doctor,
I'm drowning, Lance, you said. I'm
need to
drowning.
see this.
No, it's all too late.
Ich kann zensieren.
Look at this!
Kann ich zensieren? Doch, kann ich. Ah.
The virus. The sterility. This formula. This is the key.
Stop it all.
Yes, we could stop it all. We have to ask ourselves.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Komm, der kommt, gibt jetzt Werbung für den Film gleich nochmal. Als Werbung.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights
The naughty word. Ugh.
2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button or the spacebar on your keyboard for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you've got to do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now. As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder. Good. You're set to start sensor.
Okay.
Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember,
Ah, zensieren wie ein Profi. Nennt sich die Stasi.
1, 2, and hold it down.
Was bist du denn für ein Dude?
Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your keyboard, 1 to 4.
Running the country. Seriously?
Had worse. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance headquarters, where the two leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Cut to the outside broadcast. Oh
All
shit,
right,
he's
Pat.
pissed. Get ready to bleed.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and, well, where do I start? What a day.
They said we couldn't do it.
Audience is getting bored,
They
mate.
used every dirty, low-down, lying, southern bastard trick they had against us. But you, the people,
Nice.
you saw right through their shite.
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebratory pints. Makes me coarser than a granny's fanny.
Memorably put.
Nailed it.
But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party is what you have when things are going well. When the country is...
Was ist das denn für ein Deutscher? Meine Güte. Kaufen Sie jetzt ein braunes Sofa. Genau.
A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future.
Hat der die Bürgerschaft da?
So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Hat der hier die Bürger...
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be
Ja, der ist
celebrating.
definitiv
They should be putting their shit in
ein Deutscher.
on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Again, colourfully put, but not inaccurate.
Get on the speaker, mate.
Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know the sort of probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow, we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. And earlier today,
Gott, ich bin Zensurprofi.
you want them back. You want to leave like you threatened before
Das
the...
ist nämlich aus dem Starker Donald Trump.
But first, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay it back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring
Too long on
individuals
this, mate.
into a team. To properly fund health and education. To raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions. But you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret shite.
Da.
So to you posh twats,
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs. The people whose children you raise.
so they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It
Nice.
ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back.
Ja, jetzt beleidige mich doch nicht direkt. Der denkt sich auch nur so, what the fuck geht hier ab?
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today.
Cut back to the person
And tomorrow,
talking.
we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Held it down a bit long there, mate.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there from the leaders of Advance, and our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully, we got that bleeped out for you in time. If not, someone's going to be in trouble.
Ey! Das ist unfair.
So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under Advance. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
Right, looks like you've got it now. Thanks for the help, mate. I've got to go.
Ja.
He's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate. Good luck.
Ich komme wahrscheinlich wieder zurück. Du schaffst den Job. Tschüss.
Weird fever dream. Am I dying now or something?
You should be so lucky. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Not coming for a drink?
No, got a date.
Lucky you. Try not to get murdered.
Was ist das für eine Werbung, die da gerade spielt? Was ist das? Was spiele ich hier für eine Werbung? If he made the nose photograph. Oh Gott. Was ist das? Und Johnny in deinen VHS-Schlitz. Oh.
When the program's finished, you'll get a broadcast report. It's 3 pages. This first page shows you how well the broadcast went. Each sequence and an overall grade. Remember, grades mean bonuses.
Ah, okay, gut. Also du möchtest also sexy 80er Jahre Werbung haben. Okay. Wo ist die Naughty Prof Teletext? Ja.
Right, this is the important page. It tells you how much you're going to get paid and how much wealth you
Oh, ich bin so reich.
looks at the bottom shows you the financial state of our main advertisers. But you don't own any fucking shares. You're a cleaner, for God's sake, so why would you care?
Du bist eine Putzkraft.
This is the last page and it tells you the state of the world. Tells you how well the government's doing. And down the bottom there, this one's important, tells you what Channel 1 currently thinks of you. In other words, what the boss thinks. Alright mate, welcome to the archive. This is where you can have a quick look back at what you've done and how it looked to the public. There's 3 sections: broadcast, rushes and adverts. Let's start with broadcast. Click on it now. Over on the left, that's all the broadcasts that you've done. Click on any one of them and hit load tape. Once it's finished loading, you can use the rewind and the fast forward at the bottom there to help you get to the bit you want to see.
Oh, schade. Nee, ich möchte die Bearbeitung. Nein.
In a few moments, we'll be going live to tonight's national nightly news. But before that,
Right, click on rushes and let's have a look at those. Right, this is the rushes room. It's pretty simple. The 4 screens you can see, they're going to show you the 4 signals you got from the studio during the actual broadcast. Difference is you can mute any combination of them, so you can have a listen to the stuff you weren't allowed to show. Select the broadcast and give it a go, and when you're done listening to the backstage sequence,
Did I see if he makes me go out and pustules?
Yeah, I thought it might increase our
Yeah.
viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. It's how I show love.
You're trying
Garnelen.
And yet you persist. Going 5, 4.
Pa, pi, pa, pu. Gott. Nein, danke. Fortsetzen. Weiter geht's. Nicht für Brotkasten. Hm. Ja, 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 ja. Tag 3. Ein unerwartetes Formular. Als du nach Hause kommst, liegt Post auf deiner Türmatte. Das meiste davon nur der übliche Müll. Aber ein Umschlag sticht ins Gesicht Auge. Das Team möchte dich kennenlernen. Deine Neugier ist geweckt und du öffnest ihn. Es ist ein Formular der neuen Advance-Regierung mit der Bitte um Informationen über alle Bürger. Die erste Seite wurde bereits ausgefüllt. Name Alex Winston. Partner Sam Winston. Okay. Die restliche Frage musst du selbst am ersten Tag des Jobs. Okay, ein Kollege aus deiner anderen Abteilung gesteht dir, vertrauliche Informationen mit nach Hause genommen zu haben. Jetzt fehlt eine eher unwichtige Akte. Du würdest 11. den Regelstoß vertuschen, es zu melden, es niemand zu verraten, Vorgesetzten melden. Ich möchte natürlich ein guter Bürger sein. Hat sich einen neuen Job gesucht. Heute wurde eine gesamte Abteilung wegen ihrer zureichenden Leistung gefeuert. Der Boss hat neue Ziele festgelegt, die heute höher sind als die alten. Du würdest früher gehen. Einfach früher gehen, um mich zu saufen. Du und deine Familie wurde zur alljährigen Firmen-Grillparty eingeladen. Du musst mir leider den ganzen Tag die Haare waschen. Ganz wichtig. Hinter dir liegt eine lange, erfolgreiche Karriere. Nun solltest du vor dem Eintritt in den Ruhestand eine Abschiedsrede halten. Du gehst gar nicht hin. Der Freizeit zieht du es vor zu Modellbau, ganz wichtig. Ja, ja. So würdest du einen perfekten Urlaub verbringen. Bei einem strukturierten Tagesausflug in einen Vergnügungspark mit Spaß und Nervenkitzel für dich und deine Familie. Mit der Erkundung des Unbekannten. Die wichtigste Aufgabe der Regierung ist es, den Bewohnern Folgendes zu garantieren. Sicherheit. Vielen Dank für die Mitarbeit. Wir von werden wissen, wie wertvoll deine Zeit ist. Und wir bedanken uns für deine Mithilfe dabei, die Nation in eine lichte Zukunft zu führen. Unterschreiben. Was? Ich bin Vorzeigestreber? Tag 6. Eine Familienangelegenheit. Es ist spät. Sam und die Kinder liegen schon im Bett. Du trocknest doch eben alte Lieblingstasse ab. Eine abgegriffene Erinnerung von eurem ersten gemeinsamen Ausflug. Der Aufdruck drauf ist leicht verblasst, aber die alberne Grimasse bringt dich immer noch zum Lassen. Ein Klopfen am Fenster holt dich schlagartig in die Wirklichkeit zurück. Im Garten steht Chris, Sams Geschwisterchen. In der Hand ein knalligen neongrünen Koffer. Kaum im Haus nimmt Chris sofort am Küchentisch Platz, sichtlich gestresst. Tut mir leid, dass ich so spät hier reinplatze, Alex, stammelt Chris. Aber ich brauche einen Gefallen und ich kann mich an niemanden sonst wenden. Ist alles in Ordnung? Nein, ist nicht nötig, Sam damit zu belästigen. Ich wollte mit dir reden. Ich brauche 2 Minuten. Du hast doch vom Kapital- und Vermögensgesetz gehört. Chris schlägt bitte. Es ist total krank. Sie nehmen sich, was sie wollen. Sie verteilen es um. Wie es ihnen passt. Keine Regierung sollte diese Macht besitzen. Ich fasse es nicht, dass es echt damit durchkommt. Totalerweise. Und deshalb brauche ich deine Hilfe. Chris hält... Vorzeiger SED, Mensch. Hallo, ja, ich hab in der SED gelebt. Chris hält den Blick fest auf die Bodenfliesen geheftet. Hör zu, ich weiß, es ist viel verlangt. Du musst aber mir deinen Reisepass leihen. Das geht nicht, das ist illegal. Meinen haben sie genommen! Diese scheiß Kommunistin! So wie fast jedem Zweiten im ganzen verdammten Land. Aber es sagen doch immer alle, wie ähnlich wir beiden uns sehen, also... Chris läuft nervös auf und ab. Ich muss weg, bevor es zu spät ist. Erst dann ist mein Geld in Sicherheit. Und ich auch. Aber es muss sofort passieren, bevor sich meine Konten einfrieren. Bitte, ich will nicht fragen, wenn es keine andere Wahl ist. Willst du mich verarschen? Ich habe immer zu dir und Sam gehalten. Ich habe eure Kinder behandelt, als wäre meine eigene. Wir sind eine Familie. Bedeutet das etwas gar nichts? Chris gleich aufs Maul. Okay, Chris ist doof. Das verstößt gegen das Gesetz. Na schön, dann löse ich die Probleme eben sehr alleine. Ist wohl nicht weit her mit deiner Familienloyalität. Chris spuckte die Worte förmlich aus, greift nach dem beinahe fluoreszierenden Koffer und verschwindet in die Nacht. Du wendest dich wieder zum Abwasch zu. Das verblasste Gesicht auf Sams Tasse scheint dich in seinen Blicken zu durchbohren. Der Knoten in deinem Bauch zieht sich fester zusammen. Dann will ich zum Arzt gehen. Nutze deine Uhr. Der Chris gleich aufs Maul. Eindeutig. Tag 8. Die Auswirkungen.
Let's load up the adverts. You might want to have a bit of a think about it. Your decisions have consequences, don't they?
Sollen wir spielen? Ist dieses Spielzeug sicher? So, ihr entscheidet jetzt, sollen wir dieses Spiel spielen? Elegante neue Hautcreme. Nein, was hast du? Alan James. Festliches Adventsschmuck-Spektakel bei verrückten Neil. Oh, ihr entscheidet. Mr. Kuschelflausch oder nicht. Absolut Must-Have von Remington Swist. Für ihr Kind zum Weihnachtsfest. Also. Kuschelflausch oder kein Kuschelflausch? Ihr entscheidet.
Right, you can see they finally got the old headline system up and working again.
Ich mach's rein.
The Vision Mixer's already in headline mode because headlines always come at the start. It's really simple, mate. These two buttons at the bottom of the Vision Mixer, you can see they now have A and B on them. And they're to help you pick image A on the left bottom screen here or image B on the right bottom
Okay,
screen
das ist komisch.
here. It's really simple. This little clock here will count down the number of seconds you have to make your decision. Now you're in auto headline mode, so if you don't bother to pick a photo before that clock runs out, the machine's just going to pick one at random for you. I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them, and that's going to affect their lives. So like with the adverts, choose carefully. And we're off. Good luck, mate. If I get to
Ja, danke.
That's the bastard.
Yeah, I wouldn't get one of those. My friend Janet says theirs gets really hot.
Is this Janet who thinks dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon. 10 seconds, everybody.
10 seconds, everybody. 10
See
seconds.
when it explodes, going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first full week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be discussing what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical free thinker. With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guess if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's Fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO.
Ich will natürlich die gut stehen lassen.
Sophia Remington has always impressed. She was top of her class at university and graduated with the highest honours, immediately being asked back to lecture. The markets have responded favourably to Sophia's appointment, with stocks rising 30 points in light of the announcement. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehouse. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash, intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborg and Horgensford have today set off to explore.
Ich will dieses Thema, ich weiß, dass es hier
The
gut kommt.
recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, but thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flower technology, the pair hope to successfully reach the imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series of successful expeditions for this unlikely pairing.
Was sind das für Stockfotos?
Challenges their team might face, the pair stated, "We will face the plentiful challenges together like we always have." Playing the field, rumours abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped leaving Bush, one of the capital's hottest clubs. The footballer was caught while out celebrating being named Sports Personality of the Year last week, as reported by this very
Cheese Sandwich. Hi, Kevin.
Johnny is seen here with socialite and performance artist Tiffany Lamore, whose
Tiffany Lamore.
snatched inside my snatch has kept her firmly in the romance beyond the cards
Böse, böse in der Vagina? Was?
and grievous bodily charm. With advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective.
Cheese Sandwich ist eine gute Idee. Gut.
Saying they're scared to walk the streets alone at night. Could this be exactly the right time for Advance's new approach? All that, a mega move for the group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Beep, beep. Hi, wir sind live.
The government's swift enactment of the Advance's first week in office and what the new future holds. Joining me are Katie Brightman, a leading economist, and Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, The Free Man's Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the government certainly haven't dragged their heels on delivering some of the legislation they promised. But what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Nothing, Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Advance have realised that the current economic system of unlimited, unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps in the grand plan.
Grand plan, Alan?
It's all in my book. Alan James is right, Jeremy. Short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on with this, we will destroy ourselves and this planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy on our poor broken backs. It's all in my book. Alan James is...
Shamelessly self-promoting? Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully. Advance are the most disruptive
Suppe ist reicht.
powers have faced since the last Great War.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable.
Thank you, but that isn't
And
what
this will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're talking high-tech weapons that can level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, we'll be laughing then.
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know full well that isn't going to happen in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, Advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent...
Michi!
Bollocks! What this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy, is that these are the same people. Maybe they've rebranded, but it's all a little circus act to keep us from seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk happily into eternal bondage. They're like psychic paedophiles.
But based on the facts, Katie, what are your predictions?
Während das Boot geht noch.
Is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our public services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts into scientific research and the arts.
Or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and opiates. Like opiates, see?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue. It's all coming from the water, the chemicals, pumping it full of belief juice.
Mach ich auch.
I want to see these changes, but only if they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, that could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we've all been figuratively sodomized into submission.
No, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world. God knows we need some change, but we need to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future there. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating law and order before Megan meets some beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National...
Anscheinend ja schon. Ich muss jetzt zwischendurch noch.
1 minute back.
You know,
Gibt immer zwischendurch, ja, ich weiß nicht, hier was piepsen muss, dann muss ich mich darum kümmern, dann muss ich mich hier drum kümmern, dann muss ich mich hier drum kümmern. Also, Ding.
Alan, I can explain it to you, but unfortunately I can't understand it for you.
Ja. Und halt darauf sorgen, dass halt alles gut ist. Und anscheinend gibt es eine totalitäre Regierung mit einem Arsch-Logo. Oh Gott, wo kommt der denn her?
Shit, you will. She's good. You know she is.
I've said I've got a word in, that's all I can do.
10 seconds, everybody.
Also bis jetzt ist ein gutes Spiel. Ich weiß noch nicht, was ich komme. Ich habe den Trailer gesehen und das war sehr interessant.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law and order in our country. Advance have already tasked what they are calling a solutions team to move this serious social problem to the top of the list. Tonight, we go behind the headlines to meet the people who live with the criminal justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Well, as you can imagine, Jeremy, we are massively understaffed in this country. We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with demand, Jeremy. There just simply isn't enough being done at a systemic level to relieve the problem. We need more support from ministers. We need change at a structural level,
I'm
Jeremy.
leaving, Greg.
Not a good time, darling.
It never is it?
Der verlässt die live im Bild.
The problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's national.
Die Frau verlässt ihn, während er live ist.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Judge.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our public.
Sorry to interrupt the news, Mr. Donaldson. Can I have a moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of a burdened little...
Ja, natürlich schon drauf.
Thank you for joining us. Next, I'm joined by Police Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very different perspective on...
Das schaue ich mir später nochmal an.
Do you think there's a problem with the system, Bob?
I'm sure we all do, Jeremy. I'm sure we all long for a return to the days when you could safely walk the streets of your
Oh, das höre ich mir gleich nochmal durch.
looking in through windows and generally enjoying your neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a knife. Or kosh.
So you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple question, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a citizen of this once great country. Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't have banned hanging.
And to what do you attribute this moral decay?
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly. It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly states that... Oh.
Was passiert mit denen alles im Hintergrund?
Escaped. Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear? As I was saying, Jesus didn't...
Was passiert mit...
Did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible for the moral decay?
Absolutely, Jeremy. Back in your box, Clive. Back in your box. Delia, I really could use a little help with this.
Oh, sorry, darling. I was spaying the badgers.
Yes, I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson. Clive, could you put him back in the box?
Oh, Clive, you know it's Wednesday.
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility of good, white people.
Darling, where's the padlock?
Hold on just a moment.
Oh, Clive, this simply won't do. Naughty, naughty, naughty boy.
Clive, I am not having this.
Mummy, get back in your gatsby's. Naughty, you beast, Clive.
As I was saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal. No one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home from does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of the pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
Thank you, Bob. Bob Peel there, really locking down the police's position on morality for us. And finally tonight, hopefully uninterrupted, it's time to get to the heart of the matter. Tony Dawson has recently been released from prison after serving 3 years for aggravated assault, burglary, and menacing assault. He's agreed to talk to us.
Kann bitte das irgendjemand klippen?
Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez. Call me Titwank Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwank Tony. Prison's a mixed bag. Structure's quite nice, but it's a constant battle against institutionalization, as you can imagine.
Ah.
And obviously, Titwanks are quite hard to come by.
You're not alone there, Tony.
Titwank Tony. Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Okay, well, we're trying to get you back to that party as soon as possible. First, let me ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Titwank Tony! I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez. I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, Have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. Big Chris, little Chris, and Vampire Chris.
This one's, yeah?
Yep.
One sec, love. Shit won't tell you on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system, Jess. It's just not set up for it, you know? It's inherently unjust.
Open!
So, do you feel tempted to... I'm sorry, who's this now?
You are joking. Chrissy Freebollock has only got Mr. Fancy, oh. Not now, fellas. I'm on the news.
It seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
Little boy.
Oh, I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here. Jesus.
Yes, we seem to be losing the signal there, Tony.
Fucking way. Let's believe that.
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes, Tony? Well, we seem to have lost our train of thought there a little. Hopefully you, the viewer at home, have managed to gain a broader understanding of the serious and complex issues around the After the break, Megan will be live with some lucky young thespians. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back, everybody.
Oh.
It's been a great night. In this next section, there's a bit of music. If you edit in time with the music, you can see the result on the vision mixer, and the public will love that. Don't worry if you don't, though. You won't get punished for it or nothing. Just try and stay in the groove. Also, one last tip: when the music starts, turn down the broadcast volume. Right, enjoy the music bit. God, I love music. God, I'm so pissed. I think I might go and throw up in a bit.
Okay.
Come on, it's welcome back. How hard can it be?
This is on you. 10 seconds, everybody. We're going to open on Megan. Camera 2. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome's Black. I'm Megan Wolfe, and on tonight's Culture Spot, I'll be chatting with one of the first beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act, a team of inspiring young people from Scritchford Sixth Form College who today received a grant from Advance to take their play, Hey, Friendship, on a tour of local secondary schools. Welcome to you all. Well, let's start with you two, Harriet and Charlotte Winstanley-Hamilton. Girls, you must be thrilled.
We are, Megan. We're overwhelmed, to be honest.
And I believe you two are sisters, is that right?
Yes, Charlotte's my oldest. I'm the older, more popular one. Only joking.
Harriet and Trey were really the ones who came up with the whole idea.
So, Harry and I were shooting the breeze.
Harriet and I were shooting the breeze.
So I went to look for a drama teacher.
But she'd been laid off due to budget cuts. Fortunately, I directed a pantomime when I was at university, so I knew the ropes, as it were.
Oh, right, yes, but you're the maths teacher, aren't you?
Yes, that's me, Jeff Algebra, maths teacher.
Maths is really important.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Maths is really important.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
As is theatre. It's one of the oldest art forms in history, Aristotle. I just think that when we travel around all these problem schools and the poor kids see us, they say, hey, I really want to be like those attractive kids. And that's a very beautiful and powerful thing. We touch our audiences and they touch us right back.
I suppose with a surname like Algebra, there was really only one choice of career for me. My wife, Angela, and I, we often laugh about it.
Angela Algebra.
Yes.
We just want to bring a bit of song and joy into people's lives.
And teach people about the difficult issues.
What the fuck?
The issues in the play are what really matter.
And I think you're going to be showing us an extract from this play, aren't you?
That's right. To put into context, I play a young first year who's having some troubles at school.
Her character doesn't actually have a name, yeah, because in a way she's like all of us.
It's like a metaphor.
Was sind das für schwule Nudeln? Alex, hast du dich da schon beworben? Vielleicht haben die noch einen Platz frei.
Thanks, Steve. Put it in, coach. Yes, thanks, Steve.
Right, well, I'm going to have a little chat with your teacher while you run off and get ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it, that way. So, Jeff, when did you first hear about the grant?
2 days ago.
a letter from Advance arrived at the school. Now, the headmaster thought it was all a prank, but his secretary retrieved it from his bin and brought it to me.
Wow, how did you react?
I also threw it in the bin. But then Harriet and Trey rescued it, and they rang the number at the bottom of the page, and next thing you know, we're on tour.
Wow. Well, I think we can all guess which way you'll be voting from now on.
Do you know what? It's funny because Angela and I don't usually vote.
Fehlt dir ein Chromosom. Hashtag Telefon.
Of course, and she's a paraplegic mainly, but we did used to watch that Peter Clements DIY show back in the day, and so we thought, why not? Let's have a go with this whole democracy thing.
Okay.
And here we ballywell are.
Good stuff.
Fucking brilliant!
So, let's have a look at a short section of Hey, Friendship.
Dear Diary, I'm not sure I can take another day at this school. Another day of tears. Tears. Another day of fears. But still I walk the corridors alone. Alone. Dreading what might be around every corner.
What's around the corner? What's around the corner?
What's around the corner?
Oh, hi Gary.
Oh heavens no! It's Gary the Fist!
Gary the Fist!
Going somewhere, little first year? Great. I've been looking for some poor victim to bully all morning. But will this make me feel better about my violent father?
Clenchi General gibt's hier.
Excuse me, I'm late for maths. It's my favourite subject. And so important.
Maths is for losers. What? Maths is for losers.
My arm's stuck, coach.
Keep going for fuck's sake!
Right, maths is for losers. Now, give me your lunch money. Double lunch for me today, but why am I only truly happy when I'm eating?
Not today, Gary the Fist.
What do you mean not today? Who are you? Oh, my arm's pretty cold.
Brilliant, keep going!
Right, who are you to stand up to me? I'm Gary the Fist, and you're just a sad little girl with two gay dads who's all alone.
That's where you're wrong, Gary the Fist. These are my two new friends. Vanessa is captain of the netball team. Yeah. And Blake owns a motorbike.
Yeah. But I can't fight all three of you, and I don't have any friends of my own.
Take a look at me. Take a little look at my face. I could be you. She could be you. And you could be me.
Or you could be free.
Life can be peachy keen if you work as a team.
It's my choice to remain.
What the fuck?
So stop now, make a different choice.
Ich habe keine Ahnung, wie man groovt.
Listen up, I won't take no crap. Who said middle class girls can't rap? I ain't afraid of your true laps. I'm a mother-loving rebel, but I still love maths.
Kids, I'm Gary the Fist. People think folks like me probably shouldn't exist, but that's just prejudice, and I'd do better if you knew the way that I became Gary the Fist. I grew up on a council estate. Park was hip, but the flats weren't great. My dad used to come home drunk and late, and he'd hit my mum for dinner. He had to wait. Where's my dinner?
It's not ready.
Where's my dinner, woman?
Gary the Gay Fist. What the fuck? Kann ich nicht einfach die Werbung anmachen?
Is wrong.
I guess life's pretty hard
Der denkt ja nur so, what the fuck.
Well, thankfully that's all we have time for tonight on the National Nightly News. Join us tomorrow night for all the headlines.
Oh, danke. Ich hab's beendet.
My name's Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're out.
Oh, that was brilliant.
What the literal fuck was that?
I believe that was art.
I believe I've got a 14-inch cock, but doesn't make it so.
I have a similar belief about an adequate paycheck.
Someone please get these twats out of
Oh, kann jemand? A+. Du erhältst einen großzügigen Bonus. Ich bin bettelarm. Aktuelles Vermögen, beunruhigende Schulden. Ach, wie geil. Ich wollte irgendwas Tageskopien. Da wollte ich irgendwas von schauen. Was war das? Das Interview. War frei. Hey, Friendship. Oh. Der muss.
that. A mega move with a group of young actors.
Ich glaube, das hier war's. Ladevorgang läuft. Bitte warten. Ich möchte mal anhören, was da war.
I'm just saying I'll do it.
Going to realise I'm not her, Greg.
Trust me, between the drinking and the arse, I'm very aware.
No, Mann. So, Werbung. Was war das für andere? Abwrackwisser, Kuschelflauschplaner. Was ist das für ein Furby-Verschnitt?
We love them, and they just love
Was ist das für ein Furby-Verschnitt?
like voice to keep them company when you can't.
If you keep me happy, I'll keep you safe.
And his incredible real-action eyes.
I hope your mummy and daddy don't die in a fire. That would be bad.
It's no wonder.
Oh, gut, dass ich das nicht gespielt habe.
Christmas.
All the other kids have got one.
That's right, little one. You don't want to be left out.
I only like people who have me as their friend.
Oh, Mr. Snugglehugs, you're so silly. Mr. Snugglehugs in stores now, selling out fast.
Oh, gut, dass ich die nicht geholt habe. Oh, das wäre so peinlich gewesen. Sehr peinlich. Sehr, sehr peinlich. Kringel, 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 Kringel. Also wenn es so weitergeht, dann bin ich am Ort noch hier. Ah, danke. Tag 15. Eine lange Nacht. Oh Gott, ich habe Angst. Du kommst nach einem langen Arbeitstag nach Hause und findest in der Küche eine Nachricht. Du erkennst Sams eilige Handschrift. Chris' Wohnung wurde wegen unbezahlter Mietraten zwangsgeräumt. Sam ist losgefahren, um Chris Sachen von der Straße zu holen. Warte nicht auf mich. Doppelt unterstrichen. Das ist jetzt also deine Schuld? Mürrisch starrst du den billigen Horrorfilm, den ihr euch gemeinsam ansehen wolltet. Als Kind hat dir schreckliche eingejagt. Okay. Gerade als du deinen besten Teil kommt, dem Teil, wo Candy beschließt, alleine Nachforschung anzustellen, bist du von all deinem 14-jährigen Sohn unterbrochen. Er möchte einen Freund besuchen. Er schaut sich an, wie er es nur ein Kind kann. Lehnend und zugleich trotzig. Du erlaubst es ihm, solange er verspricht, um 11 Uhr wieder zu Hause zu sein. Du sagst nein zu Charlie. Er weiß, dass er an einem Wochentag nicht so spät weg sein kann. Charlies Stimme wird immer lauter, als ihm bewusst wird, dass du deine Meinung nicht ändern wirst. Du behauptest, es wäre zu meinem Besten, aber in Wirklichkeit willst du doch nur deine Ruhe haben. Ich hasse dich, verdammte Scheiße. Er zögert, er weiß, dass er zu weit gegangen ist, aber in seinem Zorn kann er sich nicht einbremsen. Bevor du ein Wort sagen kannst, stimmt die Treppe hoch und knallt die Tür zu. Ja, ich bin Meister Leser. Du klopfst an die Tür, als niemand antwortet, und öffnest sie leise. Dein Sohn hat dich unter der Bettdecke verkrochen und schmollt. Er starrt stur die Wand an, als ihm klar wird, dass du nicht gehen wirst, bevor er mit dir spricht. Wendet er sich seufzend an dich zu. Er muss lernen, sein Temperament zu zügeln. Widerwillig entschuldigst du dich. Tag 47. 48. Oh. Ein angespannter Weihnachtsabend. Mit dem Anblick des Tisches kannst du dir dein Lächeln nicht verkneifen. Draußen auf dem Gras liegt der echte Schnee. Kinder ziehen an einem Weihnachtscracker, während deine tragende Mutter langsam die Augen zufallen. Bitte was? Okay. Du hattest schon immer eine Schwäche für Weihnachten. Die Stimmung war den ganzen Nachmittag lang angespannt. Alle spürten es. Es ist euer erstes Zusammentreffen mit Chris, seit du dich geweigert hast, deinen Reisepass aufzugeben. Eine große Veränderung für Sam. Bisher waren die beiden Geschwister immer unzertrennlich. Nur das Klappern des Bestecks zu hören, während Chris dich vielsagend anstarrt. Du stehst auf und hebst ein Glas. Frohe Weihnachten, ihr Lieben. Ich bin froh, dass wir alle hier sind. Alle murmeln ein Prost und stoßen klirrend ihre Gläser aneinander. Chris bleibt reglos sitzen. Ja, wir sind alle hier. Das verdanken wir dir. Sam seufzt wieder. Chris, jetzt lass dich doch mal. Heute ist Weihnachten. Können wir nicht mal endlich mit dieser Sache abschließen? Chris wendet sich von dir ab und lässt den angestauten Frust an einem billigen Stück Brathähnchen aus. Deine Tochter Susie nützt diese Gelegenheit, um dich mit einer Frage in die Enge zu treiben. Du hast mich doch lieb, oder? Du lachst leise, dann kommt dir das bekannt vor. Susie verdreht die Augen. Du weißt doch, dass ich meine Freunde und ich Oh Gott! Du weißt doch, dass meine Freunde und ich teuer eine Reise planen, beginnt Susi unschuldig. Ich hatte gehofft, dass dass ihr mir da finanziell unter die Arme greifen könnt. Wird von Chris höhnisch grunzen unterbrochen. Ich würde nicht mal drauf wetten, Susi. Alex ist nicht gerade für Großzügigkeit bekannt. Stimmt's, Alex? Wir werden so viel von der Welt sehen und so viele andere Kulturen kennenlernen, schwärmt Susi. Du sagst und denkst die Stimme. Du weißt ja, im Moment ist es finanziell schwierig, sagt Großmutter. Wir haben einfach nicht so viel Spielraum, Susi. Bitte, Harriets Eltern helfen mir auch. Will ich oder will ich nicht? Chatfrage. Ja oder nein? Kein Geld für die Kiddies, okay. Was? Du hast es versprochen? Schreit deine Tochter. Sie schaut von einem Eltern zu anderen und öffnet den Mund. Doch anstatt was zu sagen, stößt sie einen frustrierten Schrei aus und vergräbt den Kopf in Händen. Und die Auszeichnung als Elternteil des Jahres geht an... Chris imitiert sarkastisch einen Trommelwirbel auf dem Tisch. Du blickst hilfesuchend zu Sam, aber da kommt nichts. Lass dich nicht täuschen, Susi, fährt Chris vor. Alex hat nichts für die Familie übrig, stimmt's? Du bringst kein Wort raus. Jämmerlich. Chris legt Susi den Arm unter die Schultern und führt sie aus dem Raum. Ali verlässt peinlich berührt den Raum, während du mit der Abräumen der Teller beginnst. Hattest du einen schönen Geburtstag, sagt deine Mutter gut gelaunt. Verkauft die Kinder, geh selbst auf die Reise. Das ist schön. Ein unverhoffter Gewinn. Ah. Du siehst den Poststapel durch. Der sich angestammelt hat. Bei jeder neuen Rechnung ziehst du deinen Bauch krampfhaft zusammen und hältst inne. Als etwas Blaues aufblitzen. Auf dem Aufschlag erkennst du das Logo von Advance und reißt dich auf. Liebe Familie Winston, vielen Dank für Ihre Zusendung. Ihre Reisepässe zur Bewilligung. Für die Zusendung Ihrer Reisepässe zur Bewilligung. Wir bestätigen deren Enthalt und Gültigkeit für ein neues Kapital- und Vermögensverteilungsprogramm. Wir freuen uns, Ihnen hiermit Ihnen einen Scheck zu übermitteln. Nicht nur als Symbol unserer Dankbarkeit Ihnen gegenüber, sondern auch als Symbol unserer unerschütterlichen Engagements für die Schaffung einer Gesellschaft, die frei von Ungleichheit ist. Nur das Pulsieren des kleinen Schnitts, den du dir in der Eile am Finger gezogen hast, beweist dir, dass du nicht träumst. Ein Schreck, noch dazu mit einer unbeträchtlichen Summe. Nicht unbeträchtlichen Summe. Wir werden weiterhin unbeirrt nach mehr Wohlstand für unsere Nation und Folge streben. Gemeinsam vorwärts. Julia Salisbury und Peter Clement. Langes Wochenende. Warum muss der Reißverschluss an diesem Koffer nur immer klemmen? Heute ist euer Jahrestag. Sam und du fahren wie immer jedes Jahr übers Wochenende weg. Üblicherweise zum Campen. Das Geld wächst schließlich nicht auf den Bäumen. Du freust dich schon lange drauf, endlich etwas Zeit zu zweit, abseits des Lärms des Alltags. Keine Kinder, keine Arbeit, nur Ruhe und Frieden, nur und ein bisschen Romantik. Endlich gibt der Reißverschluss nach und du kannst prallen Koffer die Treppe runter. Guten Abend, Alex. Hier ist Mr. Boseman. Ich rufe an, um ihm mitzuteilen, dass Sie an diesem Wochenende bei der Arbeit benötigt werden. Es sind neue Informationen bezüglich der wachsenden Entspannung zwischen unserer Nation und ausländischen Kräften an sich gekommen. Daher wird das Team der National Nightly News rund um die Uhr arbeiten, um sicherzustellen, dass wir als Erste mit der Story rauskommen. Ich verstehe natürlich, dass Sie morgens früh an Ihrem Arbeitsplatz erwartet. Pünktlich um 8 Uhr. Einen schönen Abend noch, Alex. Dein Schatz kommt die Treppe runter, strahlend vor Aufregung. Bis hingehen, nicht wahr? Die Stimme in deinem Rücken lässt dich herumfahren. Klar wirst du, das wäre ja auch viel erwartet, dass dass dir die Familie mal an erster Stelle kommt. Gott behüte. Warum tue ich mir das überhaupt an, Alex? Ich weiß nicht wirklich dich. Damit ist Sam weg. Das ist aber mehr als ein Wochenende. Stimmungsformel. Also Charlie blickt dir über die Schulter, während du liest. Strebst du nach immer mehr Leistung? Bist du ein aktives Mitglied des Teams? Liebst du es, die Früchte der Zusammenarbeit zu ernten? Schließ dich noch heute dem Advanced Hartmenschen an. Gemeinsam vorwärts. Charlie nimmt den Flyer, kann direkt in der Schule hingehen und Ben's Schwester bringt uns danach. Du schreibst den Zustimmungsformular, damit der Sohn ist begeistert und herzerwärmend zu sehen, mit Leidenschaft, er ein aktives Mitglied der Gemeinschaft werden will. Hört sich jetzt an wie Hitlerjugend, scheiße. Wohl eine profitable Partnerschaft. Die meisten von den üblichen Möller, einen Brief, drängend, sofort beantworten. Mit diesem Schreiben möchten wir Sie darüber informieren, dass die Adventsregierung einen weiteren Schritt im Kampf für mehr Gleichheit durchgesetzt hat. war die Verstaatlichung der größten privaten Konzerne und die Verteilung von deren Ressourcen an die Bürger dieses großartigen Landes. Anleihenpartnerschaftsprogramm stellt sicher, dass vom Volk generierte Wertschöpfung auch dem Volk zugutekommt. Jeder Haushalt wird Partner von einer von 3 sorgfältig ausgewählten Einrichtungen, während sie ihre durchgängige hohe Leistung und finanzielle Sicherheit gewählt wurden. Bitte beachten Sie, alle Ergebnisse basieren auf der öffentlichen Meinung und unterliegen keiner Garantie. Bitte wählen Sie eine der folgenden Optionen. ADB, Auge des Betrachters AG. Sei es Kosmetik, Kleidung, Couture. Wir werden die Schönheit an allen Kunden sein. Nils Deals GmbH. Immer die beste Deal beim verrückten Nil. Genuss KG. Ihr Genuss ist unser Verstell. Soll ich von den 3 nehmen? Ihr entscheidet. 1, 2 oder 3. A, N oder G. ANG. Allgemeine Notorische Gemeinschaft. Also 1, okay, gut. Vielen Dank für Ihre Auswahl. Bitte senden Sie diese Farbe im beiliegenden Umschlag zurück. Sie erhalten in 3 bis 6 Arbeitsmonaten einen Bericht über Ihre Partnerschaft. Zukunft dieser Nation liegt in der Partnerschaft. Gemeinsam vorwärts. Ja, jetzt ist egal. Aktuell ist Vermögen mehrere Urlaube. Danke. Gott, wie viel Bürokratiekram gibt's hier? Ein Teenager-Aufstand. Oh Gott, Kinder. Du steigst schweigend aus eurem alten Wagen. Sam schlägt die Tür so laut zu, dass du Angst hast, sie könnte aus den Angeln fliegen. Du hast nichts gesagt. Der richtige Zeitpunkt, als ihr euch dem Empfangsschalter nähert, spürst du die Übelkeit in dir hochsteigen. Schließlich, nach einer gefühlten Ewigkeit führt der beamtenfreundliche Miene eure Tochter aus. Sie ist ein gutes Kind, aber wenn wir sie noch einmal wegen eines Graffitis schnappen, müssen wir sie festnehmen. Nix entschuldigt sich hinzu sie Namen, während verschreckte Tochter in den Arm stieß. Als du und ihre Tochter die Hände schüttelt, senkt die Beamtin ihre Stimme. Auto versucht das Thema zur Sprache zu bringen, aber du die weigert sich dann was zu sagen. Schließlich gibt es da Fragen, bla 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 bla. Ah, das Klassische. Ja, very advanced. Aha. I've got achievement. Nein, kein Hardcore-Modus. Tag 153, der Sturm. Oh, ich bin mal wieder hier.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other 2, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show.
Tschüsschen. Super mega toller Ostermonster-Deals beim verrückten Nil.
That one, eh?
Apparently he has a complicated relationship with his fate.
No.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talk to you.
You're probably just a really awful date.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accidentally slip out?
Pricks. Going in 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
After 3 months of record-breaking approval ratings, could this be the daring first move
Ich
of
bin
the
pro.
silent resistance movement? And what would that mean as we go into the future?
We shall overcome. Trapped in
Untersuche deine
for more
Prostats.
than a month now, Doctors Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science,
Du hast eine Prostata.
hopes are still high for the
Prostata.
Olympic
Ups.
team to dry land.
While both options
Also
are still
die-
on the table, support seems
Aha,
to grow
ha,
for a
ha.
daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft
Operation Escape, das möchte ich im Fernsehen sehen.
LaBeouf avoided. As the last Mr. Snugglehogs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so blind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out to be a miracle, as only 7 children were horribly injured by the lethal toy. How much worse could it have been?
Ach, Feuer frei.
Thankfully, we'll never know.
Julia Salisbury, who mobilized numerous government resources to recall the product immediately after the first blindings, said today that the new advance mark, which must be earned by all new products, would be a 100% ironclad guarantee of safety.
100%ige Sicherheit und Qualität.
Table for 2. Johnny Hansleaves and Tiffany Lamore were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller
Soll ich einen auf
coaster
Bild
since
machen?
they started dating late last year. And this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Johnny's secretive hospital visits have had the rumour mill churning. I think it's safe to say that they're not looking at his school report.
Is this once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sport?
And onwards and upwards. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Rimington's Fist CEO Sophia Rimington today announced a brand new product that already has the markets buzzing with interest.
This groundbreaking product came as quite a shock when it was revealed earlier today, though its critics are skeptical that the young CEO can fulfill her promises.
Described as a breakthrough far ahead of
Ich mach die so runter. Ich mag diese Firma nicht.
sexual revolution. Its fans are celebrating the fact that
Ich mag diese nicht. Aber da hast du außerdem mein Prostatamittel.
expressed concerns over its safety and side effects.
With that exclusive prime ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon live at the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's.
Die haben ein neues Intro. Wow.
But first tonight, while Advance is certainly proving popular with the majority of the country, who've seen their wealth and standards of living increase considerably, for some, the transition has not been as pleasant.
That's right, Megan. The formerly aristocratic members of our society have had to make major adjustments to come to terms with the new regime.
Robin Short is in suburbia investigating rumours that these previously privileged people may be planning some kind of protest. Robin?
Thanks, Megan. I'm here in Moderate Hatchings to talk to Wentworth
Ah.
and Penelope Somerset Bentley, who were relocated to the
Mag
house
es Macht
that
zu haben.
me after Advance passed the Assets and Wealth Act on their first day in office. Tell me, how are you settling into your new lives?
Well, quite frankly,
Der hat wieder PTSD.
our neighbours are whitewatters.
It's simply untenable. I hope you'll forgive my language, but it's as steaming as a Wednesday hatch basket with too much spatting.
Steady now, Penelope. Sorry, Robin, my sister's under a lot of pressure. She had to dress herself this morning and she still hasn't quite recovered from it.
My goodness, that must have been quite a shock.
She really struggles with women's, Robin.
Well, at least you've been rehoused in a nice big
Was
house.
ist das für ein Untertitel?
Big house? This grubby little gaddis spatch only has one staircase.
And the breakfast room and the dining room in the same bloody place. Imagine that, having all one's grub in one room. One room, Robin.
So, what would you say to the people that feel that your family has had it far too easy for
Der hat wieder hier PTSD. Sieht man ihm an.
solutions are both fair and just?
I hardly think we've had it easy for fussle's sake. Only one of our swimming pools was even heated.
But realistically, what can you do?
Well, you've asked the right bloody question, Robin.
Thank you, Wentworth. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason.
I think our toilet butler was from Swinstead. Dear George. Oh, I wonder what happened to him. Daddy tried to shoot him in the buttocks and he ran off into the woods.
Schniedel abschneiden.
That's
Gut.
my last happy memory, Robin.
Tragic, but what can you do?
We will rise and rebel. We wage war on our revolting rulers with righteous words and rebellious writings. Our best guess in our quest for redress is to divest our breasts and an undressed bitches protest.
Oh, what's that?
Daddy! Daddy, it's something!
Please don't do that. We can't show this on the news.
Right, you buggers! Tilly ho! Tilly! Get the dog!
Tilly's our mummy. She's proper cracked off too.
Well, at least you are showing some shame.
Free at last! Somerset Bentley!
What the fuck is it? Wir werden so weggesperrt dafür.
Nice sharp work, boy.
Thanks, Daddy.
He gets that from me, you know.
And forgive me, what are you trying to achieve here?
We just want to be fucking well heard, that's all.
Language, Penelope. We are news, not rules.
Sorry, Daddy.
We want the world to realise we won't
Der ist auch da. Oh Gott.
We will revolt. We will rise again.
Yes, we bloody well will. Stuff and piff pop.
Well, Jeremy, Megan, as this embryonic protest movement takes one in the
What the fuck passiert da?
studio, I'm Robin Short, struggling surreptitiously in moderate hatchings.
Thanks, Robin. Well, that's certainly a story we want to be keeping an eye on, eh, Megan?
Speak for yourself there, Jeremy, but I've seen enough shaft work to last me a lifetime.
I'm sure you have. But can a naked protest movement ever really catch on? It doesn't seem like the way we do things in this country.
But as I'm sure you're aware, Jeremy, this country is becoming a
Was zur Hölle?
Yes, but seriously, who's going to run around naked in our weather?
Hopefully not you, Jeremy.
Yes, well, there wouldn't be enough canvas for the slogans.
When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. Oh, sorry, I'm busting. Oh.
She's funny.
Was zur Hölle ist da gerade passiert?
She wants your job.
She's welcome to it. Why is it raining on my desk?
Alex, Boozman, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make
Fleshy bits?
It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Boozman out.
Warum regnet's auf den Tisch? Ah, ach so, das meinst du. Ah, untersuche deine Prostata. Tommy Harris erklärt die Bedeutung von Prostata-Untersuchungen. Okay.
That's what it says.
Yes, I understand that, but I always say welcome back.
I think we should just keep it as it is.
Well, of course you do. I've got one hack line.
What's that supposed to mean? I didn't write it, Jeremy.
That's all right, fine. Jenny, there's something wrong with the auto cue.
10 seconds.
Oh, I just felt a drip again. Have they not fixed this?
Want to see us fry? It's good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Ooh.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's
That's right, Megan, you join me live here for the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Eddie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the lanky hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending, it's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the Fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. And, Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brain. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Got a bad shot there from Harris. Back to Striker.
Oh Gott, du kriegst gleich eine Prostata.
She's gone to sort of throwing under her legs. Not bad if you ask me. Don't know why you could to Harris. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Football. Move back. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit better.
8 Minuten? Oh Gott.
First, of course, after the argument with the ref section, there's time to change
Oh Gott.
Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense. Striker giving it large. Second round, do play. Harris. Winter round 2 now with Harris. Okay, you seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. Apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. She appears to have slogans across her breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that. Security, I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow because it's quite nice, and women's bodies. Yeah. All right, great. Okay, so back into round 2 now, and Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Eddie Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that offensive thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the Higgs. What a
Ja, ja, keine nackten Ärsche.
Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastering display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a of course, always say that. And after all,
Geil. Obwohl das ohne Chat unten links könnte noch einen anderen Delay haben, weil da ist nochmal der extra Delay drin. Die habe ich nur heute nicht kalibriert.
Music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We're going to apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. Is running around here with his genitals on display for all to see. And ruining what was shaping up to be quite the dancing salute there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security's on it. And the bucket has been knocked over. I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television. And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again. Final poses. Oh boy, cannot be in the final pose. And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to...
Was ist das?
But unfortunately, because of science, we can't. Thank you. that ball boy's giving me the eye all day. I don't know what's going on. Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think.
Oh Gott.
Back to Harris here. God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball. I'm all right, ladies. Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because of course if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to striker. And striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course perhaps... And yes, Harris has counted with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mud. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame.
Harris receives possession now.
Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. So, here we go. Tommy Harris. That's all right. Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact caution from the referee, who's been, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like, I mean, this is a mess now. I don't know what I can be doing about this. I mean, sort of breasts and genitals full to see. I mean, there's only so much you can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they?
Ich weiß nicht, wo ich entscheiden soll.
The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters hopefully we can get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. What's going on here? Yes, we want our money. Yes, very good. Take it away. Jog on! This is the mine round. It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go anywhere at this point. Really high-level play here from 2 absolute...
Was zur Hölle ist das für ein Spiel?
The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's and she's spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on. Illegal spit from striker. But she's in it to win it. Harris's ball. On it like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beat.
Gott, was tue ich mich ja
And
an?
he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's throwing it, and the banana was the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris! Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic... There we go, Jeremy, that is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump! We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official.
Contestants in, please. And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship is... everyone!
Once again, a win for everyone, including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals, their 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. Looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all I know is left to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
Patrick Bannon there had an extraordinary final.
Historic sports board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Oh yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
Dort, Michi, jetzt kommt eine Prostata.
I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shocked me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shocked me. Where's that sound guy?
Everything okay? Oh, the mics are just trying to kill us now, apparently.
Die Mikrofone töten uns jetzt.
I'm immune.
So, Michi, du kriegst jetzt deine Prostata.
Storm is playing havoc with the electrics, and you might notice the odd spark. Nothing to worry about. Happens all the time. Dave got shocked into a coma last year, but he was up and at 'em the next day. Anyway, our compensation package is parallel to none. Good luck. Bozeman out.
Between you and your she-demon of an ex-wife. So what caused this big old prostate? In your bum. Well, sorry. Me and the doctors, we don't know. I can tell you, as you get older, your body changes. And that's okay. If you're worried about your swollen bum sack, book an appointment, for God's sake. Procedure is easy, it's quick, and it's not gay. I'm Tommy the Fingernail Harris. Rectums, check them.
Nightly news.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers mostly.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some people who just don't know how to be happy.
Find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
Someone's dripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Oh, okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death, Pet. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that Advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful, and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera,
Oh,
Pet?
sorry, yes, it's camera 4 right there.
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. He had to go to the hospital. My granddad, he'd collapsed that morning, so we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. We were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I love.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope, 3 days later he were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football. He wouldn't even wait till half time.
That sounds...
It was awful. It were awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him. He could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away. And he wouldn't beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't. Or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
This microphone pack has just given me electric shock.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think it's from my asshole.
Oh, we're still on the air, Peter.
Yes, sorry, my apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got a sack to get. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
That one was massive. Right, no, this bastard's coming off.
That the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of... with a rusty twat like that.
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan, we're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
And we're out. Good job, everybody.
Oh, ich wurde geschlockt.
So they just...
Ich wurde geschockt. Ah, wie süß.
It's my nephew, so let me transition the moment I start the leak.